Bonjour, this is Jasmine. Thank you so much for stopping to smell the roses on Rue Madame. For those of you who are new to the neighborhood, I am a writer, a storyteller, and a community builder. I write about culture, politics, parenthood, and my life here in France. And I've recently become an author of a children's book. I'm so excited. And it's called Joelle Confronts the Weather with What's in the Cupboard. The illustrator is my husband, John Paul DeLance, very talented. And it's available now, so check that out. And if you're interested in creative writing and a book club, check out patreon.com and get the bonus content in this full video with my special guest today, Jasmine Ellis. She's a famous comedian who wants to talk to me. And I guess it's because we're both Jasmines. I think that's it. But she had a post recently that went viral, and I wanted to talk to her about it. So before I give you any more details, stay tuned and enjoy our conversation. The post that you posted about the WAP video.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know how that came by my timeline, but I'm like, oh my God, I have to talk to her. So thank you for agreeing to this. So I'm gonna get right into it. What do you think the reaction, why do you think it was so big for the WAP video with Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion?
Oh, see, that's interesting. I think what it is, it's because I believe that we always equate sexuality and sex to something that is dirty and something that women have to do to survive, but not for fun. Right. So I remember a couple years ago, and I hate to always bring Nicki Minaj into the conversation when we bring about those three, because I think they're each so talented and all the same, all different in different ways. And I don't think there's totally room for more than one of them, but the comparisons between them is important. So when Nicki Minaj released Anaconda, and that was her fourth album, I believe, I remember she's on the pose, she is almost completely naked. She's got on a thong and you can see her butt. And right. I remember so many people saying, oh, she's too famous for this. She's so big. There's no reason why she has to do this. Why would she do this? Even a lot of feminist vocal people were it looks desperate. It looks thirsty. And I think what it was why is she stooping so low to be sexual still? She's made money. She should be past that. And I think what a deeper part of that is that we're kind of coding sexuality as poverty, as the lowest, as the worst, as bad people. And that's why people have so high towards sex work, Cardi B, everybody loves the stripper turned rapper narrative, but they're mad that she's still a stripper, basically. She enjoys sexual performativeness.
She has stripper mentality, even though she's famous.
And there's nothing, but I wouldn't even call it a stripper mentality. I think she just likes to entertain, and one of the ways that she entertains is through her sexuality. It's just part of what. It's part of her art form. It's part of her art. And I think sex is supposed to be something dirty and something you use to get something else. I almost tweeted this, but then I didn't because the responses to my Trump tweet were getting really intense. I've been called a cunt 4 times this week, which is just so funny because that does not affect me because I'm not a white woman. I've never
and that's even just material that you can use in your stand-up. Thank you. Right?
Yes and no, if that makes sense. It's so funny. People are oh, do you get material from this and that and that? And I'm I get material from my own life. I don't need to if someone tweets something at me, I'm not going to say that on stage. You know what I mean? I write books. They're my own thing. But no. But I was thinking this the other day. I was I think, because if you think, as long as hip hop's been around, almost as long as hip hop's been around, there's been video hoes. The expression, I think people are mad at video hoes rap now because we got hoes without a pimp and they don't know how to act. They're confused. The way I think men, and I'm saying people are mad, but I'm noticing it's coming from 2 groups. It's men and pick-me's. Men and pick-me's are upset because they build a lot of their self-worth around male supremacy. And I mean, it's not just that Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and all of them are just this pussy's so great. They're also he ain't good for nothing but some head. Right. I let him buy me a bag, then leave. I could fuck your daddy. There's there's a difference to it. It's not just like I could take your man. It's like I could also take your bitch and I could take your bag.
And they're unapologetic about it. They, you know, they don't care. And I want to have you seen the Jermaine Dupri interview about him talking about strippers becoming rappers? Because he hit.
Fuck Jermaine Dupri. Just I heard that quote and it was just so funny because it's like, I don't know what it is, but like every time it feels like whenever a rapper turns 40, they just, I don't know, Jermaine Dupri might be almost 50, but they're just like, hey, what's a relevant take? Well, you know what? There's too much sex in hip hop. And it's like, sir,
oh my God. He is known, if you listen to his music, he's known for frequenting strip joints. So yeah. I think it was just kind of like his ego was like hurt, like, oh, I'm supposed to be, you know, like the rap person and you're supposed to be the person, you know, I just throw money at. So I think he was kind of like, I think
it's Cardi and Megan's success that bothers people. It's like, I think sexual rap has been around forever, but like when we just compare numbers, we look at a Trina, a Foxy Brown, a Lil' Kim, we look at the numbers they do compared to a Megan, a Cardi, and a Nicki, it's like the rappers are the pop stars now. And that is different. And that means that this is mainstream. I mean, I think we're hearing more about it right now because like white kids in the suburbs know this song. Like they do, you know what I mean? If I started rapping Pull Over, I don't expect suburban white kids like who were the exact same age as me to know that. Maybe, but not really. So I think it's the fact that this is what the mainstream is now. You know, it's at the same level. If you just compare, like, I mean, they're not number one song across all charts right now. I think it's scary to people. It's interesting. It is really funny how we went from Taylor Swift's like really sad folklore album last week to then, like a week later. Like, what's gonna happen? 2020 is the year of surprises. It's the year of rap girls and surprises.
And what made me love your post even more is just like it kind of like called out the system that we're in, because you know we're in the political year. And we're talking about capitalism and the wealth gap and everything like that. And talking about debt and how that's the problem. It's not these stripper girls. You know what I mean? Like,
it's funny though, because I do definitely want to make it clear that, like what I said, it's funny. These things pop out of my head and it's so funny because I tweet constantly. And my little sister was like, I really think Facebook is your platform though. So I decided to screenshot it and put it on Facebook. And I think that's a crazy thing.
Oh, that's how it.
Yeah, because I got like 46,000 shares last time I checked on Facebook, but it's still at like 1,000, 2,000 likes on Twitter. People are stingy with their likes on Twitter and they're stingy with their retweets because I think Twitter is where people who think they're smart and clever go. Instagram is where people who think they're hot go. And then TikTok doesn't have an identity yet, and that's what makes it so great. And I'm sure it's gonna get ruined soon. But
I think that's Gen Z, and I don't know if that's our. Do you think that's our generation too?
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, so we are the true millennials. We can still do TikTok, and there's no reason why it's like overwhelming, but it is so funny to watch them talk about, like, people in my comments be like, oh my God, you don't seem that old. I'm like, I'm not. Like, 31 is not that old. I'm so sorry to tell you this, but your face does not just like fall off the bone at 29. You know what I mean? Like the average American is living to be like almost 90 right now. Like I got time. Yeah. Like middle age is like 50. Calm down. I'm still a young person. But even if it was
vibrant and moisturized, yeah.
Tweet, parents of Twitter who are terrified their daughters becoming strippers, do not panic. I grew up in the Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown era and never considered sex work until Sally Mae got involved. WAP ain't the problem, debt is. Okay, so I want to make it clear that I'm not saying there's a problem with sex work, but but what makes a lot of people turn to sex work is not examples. It's basically being in a financial position where you need to make money quickly.
Exactly. And it kind of calls out our system where you need to take out loans and be in debt for the rest of your life or up until you're in your late 50s. In your situation, how was your college experience like in your relationship with like debt and
I went to school for communications and broadcasting, and I'm a first gen college. I'm a first gen college graduate. My sister graduated before me, but we're the same generation, obviously. So neither of our parents graduated college. And the thing is college is not for everybody. Now, I don't regret going to school, but my parents really pushed, you have to go to college, you have to go to college, because they really thought that's why they didn't get so far in their lives. And my parents are doing great, but, you know, they were born in the early 60s. You know, my father's birth certificate literally says Negro on, my mom says colored. Like, this is a whole world away when you think about it.
Were they born in Texas, in the South?
Louisiana, actually.
Okay.
So, you know, the deeper South. So they wanted what's best for us, but me being a creative, me wanting to work in film and television and wanting to be an actor at the time, now I'm a comedian, obviously, and like working my way back into acting, it's interesting. But I really might have benefited more from like a program to learn editing and video work. And, you know, I've been working as a makeup artist for years, maybe getting my license, but they're like, no, you need a 4-year college degree. So I just needed in something. And then there were times where money was a little bit tight, and I definitely like opened credit cards that I shouldn't have and got a little in over my head. I got myself out of that. But the thing is just like owing money and feeling this weight on your shoulders, and always be, especially all of the stigma around bad credit, you know, and things like that, it puts you in a position where you're like, you would do things you wouldn't necessarily do. I am all for the empowered sex worker. I'm all for the person who says, you know what brings me joy? Having sex for money, or performing sexually on camera for money, or, you know, whatever it is. That's fine. I just hate the idea that there's a stereotype that people only do it because they hit rock bottom. Right. And that dichotomy exists because there are so many obstacles to getting yourself out of debt and out of bad situations and out of this and that. And so for a lot of people, the thing that makes sense is strip clubs and things like that. And
I think this wave of stripper rappers, or just rappers that had this lifestyle before, maybe will change the culture of sex work. Maybe it will become, you know, the United States will become an Amsterdam, where you have sex work as being legal and respected. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would love to see that. Because that's the thing, is once you take the illegal aspect out of it, then you have so much. It's just like,
if you like the first half of this video, you'll love the second half. So head over to patreon.com, make a pledge, and get access to the entire conversation. Thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you next time. Bye.